a TV on air for me, Mama Kwa, but a daily update. So, and then the kind of pay me a channel, so I daily update. I should say, over notification bell, no, so now I subscribe it. A baby idea, a video, but to YouTube, a more alert, no, I jabber, Oborem, so about Kelvin, not watch bread, no, should be. You should so be like, now wash enough for, and so in your beer. Your name say, and chair not too long, and I Professor Frimpong Boateng, a Likee a year. Galamsey campaigns or more involving Galamsey from the presidency. Na seminar bedin train hapa ma EBWH say a year Office of Special Prosecutor and me ekofa no kra edene koi ekotutu na no ya arrest no men kan say arrest no na yen nyina say ten nka che na wasa babiem we interview bi a ye TV3 for and a granting no na nsema waka no de editwami pa na waka sembi se eye ne namfofo a omo eye MPP ebimu so NDC but or can say eye omampanyi na say MPP gurus no omo de sikano to fie omo girlfriends ne ade nsema waka no de ano hye pa no wase bu omo be ana ebisa nse obe resign o say MPP dey won resign there is a man there watch say xpōsēd there what the be ba won resign ti me say momre ne be kwakotie eye Dr. Frimpong Boateng credit to eye TV3 omo na granting interview no and this nse we nyina tuja na waliki atum say eye MPP gurus no omo de omo sika etoto eye efie ema eye omo girlfriends ne ade that say another shocking information was Likee na what kind story in the does no kind because interview and a grantee no me say mo rene bebo awram ne yakwa kuti ene no ensema odigu akwemu na me sure say o comment o person o share wa don comment section wana na odo comment no ahye ho ama ebegibre ebe kan am team for so atibi you sure so be like na wa share I daily update TV emo sa inseminamo sorry emo ransa inseminamo enkuti chichimu enfri eye Dr. Frimpong Boateng ho ensema odigu akwemu ya misho now.
Well, that is true. That is true to a large extent. Because you find people who have no positions, elected or appointed positions in the party or in government, and they appear to waste so much power that they do what they like, and party people, government people are afraid of them, and so on. That is an unhealthy development in the party and in an MPP government.
Mm. So when you said that the president has changed, what did you mean by that? What is the Akufo-Addo you knew then and the Akufo-Addo we see now?
Well, dynamic. When he says something, he meant it. And approachable when he still is. But, there are a lot of things that he said that are not working well, as far as I'm concerned. Let's take the fight against illegal mining, for example. The president gave his word that he would put his president online to stop that thing, and we worked with him, and I was very confident that I had his support. But later on, I got the impression that maybe I was wrong.
So what's the difference between the Akufo-Addo then and now? That's what I'm asking. The Akufo-Addo now, stood by his words. He was a man of his word, but the one we see now isn't?
Not exactly, because there seem to be some contradictions in some of the things that we knew, but probably it's because of the complexity of governance. I mean, you may say something, but then when the reality dawns on you, you may have to change your position in certain issues. Maybe that might account for the change that I'm seeing.
Is this something you have intimated to him before?
No, I'm no longer there, so how can I...
I mean, while you were, you must have noticed that there was a change. Is this something that you have told him?
No, I didn't notice it that much, but even when I was 7, I was truthful, I was straightforward, and I said my mind, and with the welfare of the party and the nation on my mind. So that is why I was forthright with everything that I did.
When you say you didn't notice it that much, you mean while you were in office?
Yes, because you're so busy, you know, doing things, and sometimes you don't even have time to reflect over many things. But then when you're back and you look over certain things, then you begin to connect the dots, and then it makes sense to you.
But at the same time, you have stated more than once that your fight against Galamsey is something you had intimated to the president before, which means that you had had time to speak with the president.
Yes, I did. Not only the president, at cabinet meetings, I met the Council of State twice to tell them the challenge that we had, and also at cabinet retreat on 2 or 3 occasions in Abri and Akosombo, made a presentation to, there was a meeting of the West African security agencies, and I was invited to make a presentation, which I did on several occasions and in several fora. I made a point known that things were not going well.
I see. So when you told the president about the likes of Sir John, Osafo Mafo, and their interference in the fight against Galamsey, why do you think the president didn't listen to you then?
Oh, he listened.
Oh,
he listened and promised to deal with it, take action, do something about it, yes.
Did the action happen?
Well, I didn't see them, but the fact that things are still going on, even worse than when I was there.
Did the action happen?
I didn't see them.
You didn't see any action happen. So at that point, you must have known that the president has changed as far as you're concerned. Not
changed, because there may be a lot of things on his mind, on his table.
Galamsey was a prime campaign promise. As you said, he had put his presidency on the line. And so what else could have been top of the list?
Well, as I said, he was very patient. He listened to me, and he said, Professor, leave it to me. I will deal with it. Deal with those issues that are presented to him.
Did you have any impression that perhaps the president was not prepared? Maybe there was not the wherewithal to fight Galamsey as it is, or as some have alluded to, the president could have been a beneficiary of Galamsey?
No, I'll not go that far to say the president was a beneficiary. But then the fact of the matter is that it is still happening, and worse than before. And going on, the destruction is going on and increasing by the day. So we have a problem.
Shall we talk about your recent MPP, how we got here? Was it a letter? Would you consider it a letter?
No, not a letter.
Right.
That was, yes.
All right. So I'm going to quote from it. This is what you said. We are being served with a variation of family, friends, and concubines government and control of the press, not through violence, but through bribery and intimidation. Now, I'm going to break it down. It's a very long quote. So let's start with the first part. We're being served with a variation of family, friends, and concubines government. What did you mean by that? Could you explain that?
That phrase or sentence was in inverted commas. In other words, they were not my original words, not my original formulation. I borrowed that sentence from both the NDC and the MPP, because some time passed, some elements in the MPP were accusing the Mahama and his people of engaged in family and friends and concubines, government, and so on. So, on many occasions, I get people from the MPP, some of my friends, colleagues, and even from the communication department, saying that, look at this person. They will mention certain names, you know, in the party, in the government. So look at them. They are buying houses, building houses, buying houses for their girlfriends, and buying vehicles. They will mention certain names, you know, in the party, in the government. So look at them. They are buying houses, building houses, buying houses for their girlfriends, and buying vehicles for them, and so on. So I said, well, if we are doing this, then this is a variation of what we are accusing the NDC up. So I'm not saying, so I just told them that this is what is happening. If we are saying that people in our party, people...
But, Prof, that cannot be a precise explanation of what you've said, because for you to liken the current government to how the previous government has been described, that will only mean that you have seen the likeness of the previous government in this government, and the likeness that you saw is the fact that this government is also filled with family, friends, and concubines.
No, see, this is what I'm saying. I mean, you have to listen to me. See, when I write something, look at it well. And let me use a Ghanaian phrase. You have to shine your eyes, look at it well, because if you don't look at it well, you will not see it well. You know, that's why we say in Ghana. So the thing is that it's a quotation from both parties. And if my friends in the NPP are telling me that this is what is happening with certain elements, this is what they are doing, then I say, be careful. Otherwise, what we are doing will be a variation of what we are saying. So that's the explanation. I'm not saying that the government, Akufo-Addo government, is full of this. No, this is what I'm saying. That what some people are doing.
So what people have told you is the fact that, or what they have complained to you about, is that the government has, or officials within the government are perhaps buying properties for family, friends, and concubines who are benefiting directly from the public kitty.
This is what I'm saying, yes. So if we do that, there's a variation of what we
Do you think that is the case?
I have no direct proof, but if people are telling me, then I was telling them, this is, what if we are saying this is true, then it's a variation of what we were criticizing others for.
But again, Prof, I just want to go back to NPP, how we got here. I don't think there was a preamble before this quote to say, if it is true, then we are a variation of the family, friends, and concubines government. I think you were quite emphatic in your letter when you said that this government is a variation of that.
No, you have to understand what I'm saying, that if some prominent people are doing that, and those where I got the information from, I have no reason to doubt their integrity. So that is why I said, if we are doing this, then this is a variation of, a variation may not be the original thing, but it's similar to what we are criticizing others for.
And again, it brings to the fore accusations we have heard within your own, who hold a lot of power within the party, who have talked about how the current administration and officials within it are siphoning public funds into private coffers. What do you think about that?
As I said, I mean, whatever you say, we have to bring proof. This is what is happening.
You must have heard Kennedy Japan talk about that.
They have heard not only Kennedy Japan, but several people, talk about that. And some people too will tell you, not openly, but they will call you, or when they visit you, they will tell you certain things. But then I have no way to certify that what they have said was true.
I see.
I can also not disprove it.
Does that bother you?
It bothers me, of course. I mean, perceptions are not good, especially bad ones, not good for the image of the party and also the image of the country.
I see. We'll talk about, some of the things that you have also done while in office, but let's come back to how the NPP got here and question you constantly addressed or asked in your recent write-up in the media space. And so I'll throw it back to you.
Yes.
How do you think the NPP got here?
I believe that the actions of people who have no appointments in government and who have no party positions, but who appear to wield power, that is one thing that is disturbing us, because they have access to the seat of government, and Ghanaians become afraid of anything, and they accept everything. So and they wield so much power that it's rumored that if you need an appointment, you need a job, or you need something, you need to be in your good books, that kind of thing. This is one area that disturbs me.
And these appointments we know come from the presidency. Are we then to connect that, the people who wield power within the NPP wield this power over the president?
No, I would not say so. I mean, the president is the ultimate. He is the most powerful person in the country, and I don't expect anybody to have more power than him. He can delegate some of his authority. So
the president knows what he's doing when it comes to appointing the people who are doing injustice to the country.
I'm not saying these are... I'm not saying that the president has appointed them, but somehow they are seen to wield a lot of power, to the extent that one of them is being described as the Prime Minister of Ghana, something that does not exist in our constitution or in the way we do things. I
see. And this person you talk about, again, you mentioned him in your recent write-up. Who is this person you talk about?
He's the Prime Minister.
As the Prime Minister, the de facto Prime Minister. That is how you put it.
Yes.
Who is this person?
He's the de facto Prime Minister.
Does this person bear a name?
No, I don't. Of course, he bears a name, but I'm not here to mention names.
So how do we know who and what you talk about?
You go and research and find out, because if I mention a name, somebody will tell me, proof that is the Prime Minister.
Right. So what is it that this person does or is doing that is contrary to the very core of the NPP?
Kelvin, if you allow me, I can't go into those these days.
Why not?
You can find out for yourself, and then or ask around. Talk to people in Ghana, in the parties, NDP, PNDC, and government, and maybe get your own stories.
Well, doesn't your refusal to talk about it make you complicit in what's going on?
Complicit. If you want to take it that way, complicit. I'm not complicit in anything. I do good things, I do only good things. Good things for the party, good things for Ghana. Sacrifice all my life to make sure that Ghana becomes a good place, not a better place, a good place for all of us.
Let's talk about the state of affairs within the party. Is the party still with leadership? Does it have a leader?
Certainly, the party has leadership. Yeah, the party is a party. Otherwise, it will not be a complete party. It's got all the officers, all the leaders to make the party a good party.
Again, there is leadership, but you have complained about a number of things going on within and without the party. If there is leadership, how would you score them as far as their performance is concerned?
I would expect leadership to know the things that people are saying about the party or against the party, think about them, confront them, and then try to exert or confront those who are perceived as being the destroyers of the party, and then make sure that the right things are done. But, people sit back, and Ghanaians don't want to confront issues, and then we moan and complain and hope that things will get better, or we should wait till everything collapses and then a new one comes from the ashes.
I see. Again, I'll come back to the issue of leadership. But while you're on the subject of how the state of the party has declined, the quality of the party has declined, I want you to address for me, at what point did you begin to notice this? Because until recently, you were a very key member of this administration and by extension, the party.
This was not quite recent. I mean, when a report that I made and presented to the presidency in 2021 came up, and then some people in the party decided to sue me. And the reaction and the performance of some people, some elders and so on, gave me the impression that things were not right.
You were unhappy about how you were treated?
Sure, I was not happy about how we were treated, especially when I heard on radio myself that some two MPP commentators or communicators were on a radio station in Accra saying all sorts of unsavory things about me. So I asked one of my friends to talk to that person, what was happening. And he said that they have instructions from the communication directorate that they should make life difficult for me, insult and do that kind of thing. Nice. So if you have people from your own party, and to be honest with you, all the criticisms, the insults about Galamsey and so on that I've had come from my own party. Mm. So to me, I have issues with the present configuration of the MPP. Sort of alienated from them, don't feel part of it because I look at some of the people and I don't see what I have in common with them. This is my issue.
You don't feel, you feel alienated. You don't feel a part of the party.
Yes.
Can we conclude that in your heart of hearts, you have also resigned from the party?
No, I won't go that far. I've not resigned from the party. I want to make the party good so the party can achieve its objectives now and in future.
But you're no longer attracted to this party because the ideologies have switched.
I don't say I'm attracted. I'm still in it, but sort of, in every party, there may be factions, there may be things also. But if we take Bears, or there are several wings in the party, but if the wings beat in unison, the bird can fly. A bird has two wings, one on the left side, right on the right side, but when they beat in unison, the bird can fly. And then if they beat haphazardly, the bird may fall down. So we need, these things are there, but it should not be that somebody will be targeted and attacked. And
right.
So,
Prof, if I may do a 180, you think that you had given a lot of yourself to the party and to the country.
Yes.
And when you finally exited office, the party that you love so much turned against you. And so now you think you should be speaking. Why didn't you speak up while you were in office? What was the challenge then?
Look, if you know me, these things that I've written, I started years ago, 20, 30 years ago. Virtually unchanged. I've been writing these things all the time.
But the time you were in office, while you were Environment, Science and Technology Minister, you were not making these allegations against the NPP.
No, because they were not there at the time. It was after the fight, when I was no longer there, that, the attacks became very intense.
We didn't know a lot of the things that were going on as you're telling us now. And you tell me, or you create the impression that the only reason you're saying it now is because the party that you love so much, the party that you sacrificed so much for, decided to attack you.
No, the issues cropped up
right
after I had left government. And the attacks were coming. So I had to respond somehow. The
things you talk about now, did they not exist while you were in office, while you were part of the government?
Which things are you talking about?
The issues of corruption, the issue of interferences in your work. Those things existed while you were in office.
Oh, yes. As I told you that. I made several presentations to Cabinet, to the Council of State on 2 occasions, at Cabinet retreats and to National Security, the West African Security something organization. Several things, but they were not public pronouncements, but these were made to specific groupings, and hoping that things could change from within. And so don't say that I didn't say it. I said a lot of these things.
So if nothing was done then, is there hope that something could be done at this point?
Well, something will be done, either now by those who should do them or by others. By all means, something will be done. There will be a change somehow. either we'll bring it about ourselves or somebody will be a lightning rod to bring that change that will happen.
Prof, I want to talk about your Galamsey report, which recently the AG responded to officially. They have called it mere conjectures, unfounded, lacking evidence, for which reason their recommendation to the investigative body is for them to not prosecute the people that you accuse of interfering or actively involved in Galamsey. What do you say to that?
I'm not surprised at all that the AG is saying that, because if you had said otherwise, I'd be very surprised. Because when the report was leaked, the presidency said, as we are saying, hearsay, personal opinion, that kind of thing. That was in April. In May, the Attorney General said the same thing. And so, what are you expecting in September? You think you go back against their own words? No. So I'm not surprised at all. But the thing is that the destruction of the forest, pollution of the water bodies, decimation of our farmlands, all these things are happening now in, let me say, the destruction is now on steroids, So that is a testimony that what I'm saying is true.
It may seem so. But what the AG is asking for is evidence against the particular
The evidence
people.
is what you see around, that the rivers are being polluted.
That is the end result. But to know that these people you have mentioned are involved.
The end result is what you are seeing. If they are saying, I think that I gave enough, but you see, the point is that was not the essence of my report. I wrote a report. No, the thing was that it's not that I did it from my own, on my own accord. I received a letter from the Chief of Staff saying that the President wants you to write a report about the fight against Galamsey and suggest a way forward. That was the instruction that I got. Based on that, I wrote a report. What our problems were, those who were interfering with our work, and then suggesting a way forward. That way forward was that some people...
not just a daily update so into and then our BP so I Mrs. Kusu be a daily update. Not just any Professor Dr. Frimpong Boateng, and then any tragwe and next and some more kind of a been a quotidian and like it near Shena for Frozen. I'm sure stay tuned.